Buddhism fastest growing in the universe. Teaching of the Buddha is also more relevant today than the lifetime of the Buddha. Buddha's teaching of peace, non-violence, compassion and universal brotherhood is most essential in the world. Now let us all hear about Buddhism and the teaching of the Buddha. Child Prince Siddhartha, curious about birth and death, he wonders why people get sick, why people died, why people become old and stooped. Also, he wonders why their wishes do not come true. Prince Siddhartha, the future Buddha, was troubled by these thoughts. He began to see all that human existence is unavoidably to illness, old age and the death. At the age of early 29, Siddhartha, inspired by the sight of a calm and dignified hermit, he decided to leave his luxurious prince life and all that his easy circumstances of the royal palace. He left his young wife and the children in the good hands of royal family to seek the answers of lasting happiness, because the Buddha knew that was in the heart of all humankind. He taught everyone how to live a happy and peaceful life. Buddhism is not learning about strange belief from faraway land. It is about looking and thinking about our own lives. It shows us how to understand ourselves and how to cope with our daily problems. Buddhism always says that understand and experience the truth, for you do not have blind faith in everyone or anything. Buddhism is one of the major religions in the world. It began around 2600 years ago in Nepal, when Siddhartha Gautama discovered how to bring happiness into the world. He was born around 623 BC in the small village Lumbini in western Nepal, which was under the Kapilvastu kingdom. His father was King Sudyodhana and mother was Queen Maya Devi. His mother, Queen Maya Devi, passed away after 7 days of the birth. The newly born child, brought up by his stepmother Prajapati with much love, affection and care. He was named Siddhartha, meaning every wish fulfilled. Soon after Prince Siddhartha was born, a Brahmin wise man predicted that he would become a Buddha. When the king heard this, he was deeply disturbed, for he wanted his son to become a mighty ruler. He told the Queen Maya, "I will make life in the palace so pleasant that our son will never want to leave." At the age of 16, Prince Siddhartha married a beautiful princess, Yasodhara. The king built them 3 palaces, one for each season, and lavish with the luxurious. They passed their days in enjoyment and never thought about life outside the palace. Soon Siddhartha became disillusioned with the palace life. He wanted to see outside world. He renounced the princely life at the age of 29 after having seen 4 great sights of a sick man groaning with pain, an old man stooped with age, a dead body being carried for a funeral pyre, and a monk majestically walking along the road. "I shall be like him," Siddhartha thought. Siddhartha left his all easy circumstances, all of his material life. He became a wandering monk. He cut off his hair to show that he had renounced the worldly lifestyle and called himself Gautama. He wore ragged robes and wandered from place to place. In his search for truth, he studied with the wisest teacher of his day. None of them knew how to end suffering, so he continued the search on his own. For 6 years, he practiced severe asceticism, thinking this would lead him to enlightenment. He sat in meditation and ate only roots, leaves and fruit. All times he ate nothing. He could endure more hardship than anyone else. But this did not take him anywhere. He thought, neither my life of luxury in the palace nor my life as an ascetic in the forest is the way to freedom. Overdoing things cannot lead him to happiness. He began to eat nourishing food again and regained his strength. On a full moon day in May, he sat under the Bodhi tree in deep meditation and said, I will not leave this spot until I find an end of suffering. During the night, he was visited by Mara, the evil one, who tried to tempt him away from his virtuous path. First, he sent his beautiful daughters to lure Gautama into prison. Next, he sent his demonic armies with weapons and flaming rocks. One by one, Gautama met the armies and defeated them with his virtue. As struggle ended, he realized the cause of suffering, how to remove it. He had gained the most experienced wisdom as Samyak Sambodhi. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. From then on, he was called Sakyamuni Buddha. After his enlightenment, he went to Sarana and shared his new understanding with 5 holy men. They understood immediately and became his disciples. This marked the beginning of the Buddhist community. For the next 45 years, the Buddha and his disciples went from place to place in India, spreading the Dharma for his teaching. Their compassion knew to no bounds. They helped everyone along the way, beggars, kings, and slave girls. At night, they would sleep where they were. When hungry, they would ask for a little food. Wherever the Buddha went, he owned the hearts of the people because he dealt with their true feelings. He advised them not to accept his words on blind faith, but to decide for themselves whether his teachings are right or wrong, then follow them. He encouraged everyone to have a compassion for each other to develop their own virtue. You should do your own work, for I can teach only the way. He never became angry or impatient or spoke harshly to anyone. Do not even to those who opposed him. He always taught in such a way that everyone could understand. Each person thought the Buddha was speaking especially for him. The Buddha told his followers to help each other on the way. Following is a story of the Buddha. Living is an example to his disciples. Once, the Buddha and Ananda visited a monastery where a monk was suffering from a contagious disease. The poor man lay in the mess with no looking after him. The Buddha himself washed the sick monk and placed him on a new bed. Afterwards, he admonished the other monks. Monks, you have neither mother nor father to look after you. If you do not look after each other, who will look after you? Whoever served the sick and suffering serves me. Sakyamuni Buddha passed away around 543 BC at the age of 80. Although he has left the world, the spirit of his kindness and compassion remains. The Buddha realized that he was not the first to become a Buddha. There have been many Buddhas before me and will be many Buddhas in future. The Buddha recalled to his disciples, all living beings have the Buddha nature and become a Buddha. For this reason, he taught the way to Buddhahood. To know who we are, we to understand that we have two natures. One is called our ordinary nature, which is made up of unpleasant feelings such as fear, anger, and jealousy. The other is our true natures, the part of us that is pure, wise, and perfect. In Buddhism, it is called the Buddha nature. The only difference between us and the Buddha is that we have not awakened our true nature. One day, the Buddha sat down in the shade of a tree and noticed how beautiful the countryside was. Flowers were blooming and trees were putting on bright new leaves. But among all this beauty, he saw much unhappiness. A farmer beat his ox in the field, a bird picked an ant, an earthworm, and then an eagle soared down on the bird. Deeply troubled, he asked, "Why does the farmer beat his ox? Why must one creature eat another to live?" During his enlightenment, the Buddha found the answer to these questions. He discovered three great truths. He explained these truths in a simple way so that everyone could understand them. The first truth is that nothing is lost in the universe. Matter turns into energy, energy turns into matter, a dead leaf turns into soil, a seed sprouts, become a new plant, old solar systems disintegrate and turn into cosmic rays. We are born of our parents, our children are born of us. We are the same plants as trees, as other people, as the rain that falls. We consist of that which is around us. We are the same as everything. If we destroy something around us, we destroy ourselves. If we cheat another, we cheat ourselves. Understanding this truth, the Buddha and his disciples never killed any animals. The second universal truth of the Buddha is that everyone is continuously changing. Life is like a river flowing on and on, ever changing. Sometimes it flows slowly and sometimes swiftly. It is smooth and gentle in some places, but later on, snakes and rocks crop up out of nowhere. Once dinosaurs, mammoths, and the saber-toothed tigers roamed this earth. They all died out. Yet this was not end of life. Other life forms like smaller mammals appeared, and eventually humans too. Now we can even see the earth from space and understand the changes that have been taken place on this planet. Our ideas about life also change. People once believed that the world was flat. Now we know that is around. The third universal truth explained by the Buddha is that there is continuous changes due to the law of cause and effect. This is the same law of cause and effect found in every modern science textbook. In this way, science and Buddhism are alike. The law of cause and effect is known as karma. Nothing ever happens to us unless we deserved it. We receive exactly what we earn. Whatever it is, good or bad, we are the way. We are now due to the things we have done in the past. Our thoughts and actions determine like a kind of a life we can have. If we do good karma, in the future, good effect will follow us. If we do bad karma and bad result, it's sure to happen to us. Every moment, we create a new karma by what we say, do, and think. If we understand this, we do not need to fear karma. It becomes our friend. It teaches us to create a bright future. The Buddha said, the kind of seed sown will produce that kind of fruit. Those who do good will reap good result. Those who do evil will reap evil result. If you carefully plant a good seed, you will joyfully gather good fruit. Once there was a woman named Kisa Gotami, whose firstborn son died. She was so stricken with the grief that she roamed the street carrying the dead body and asking for help to bring her son back to life. A kind wise man took her to the Buddha. The Buddha told her, "Fetch me a handful of mustard seeds and I will bring your child back to life." Joyfully Kisa Gotami started off to get them. Then the Buddha asked, but the seeds must come from a family that has not known death. Kisa Gotami went from door to door in the whole village asking for a mustard seeds. But everyone said, oh, there have been many deaths here. I lost my father, I lost my sister. She could not find a single household that had not been visited by death. Finally, Kisa Gotami returned to the Buddha and said, there is death in every family. Everyone dies. Now I understand your teaching, Buddha. The Buddha said, no one can escape death and unhappiness. If people expect only happiness in life, they will be disappointed. Things are not always the way we want them to be, but we can learn to understand them. When we get sick, we go to the doctor and ask, what's wrong with me? Why I'm sick? What will cure me? What do I have to do to get well? The Buddha is like a doctor. First, a good doctor diagnoses the illness. Next, he finds out what has caused it. Then he decides what the cure is finally. He prescribes the medicine or gives the treatment that will make the patient well again. There is suffering. Suffering is common to all. There is cause of suffering. We are the cause of our suffering. End of suffering is to stop doing what causes suffering. Everyone suffers from these things. Suffering. Birth. When we are born, we cry. Sickness. When we are sick, we are miserable. Old age. When old, we will have ache and pains and find it hard to get around. Death. None of us want to die. We feel deep sorrow when someone dies. Other things we suffer from are being those we dislike, being apart from those we love, not getting what we want. The kinds of problems and disappointments are unavoidable. The Buddha did not deny that there is unhappiness in life, but he pointed out it does not last forever. Eventually, everyone meets with some kind of suffering. Buddha said, there is happiness in life, happiness in friendship, happiness of a family, happiness in a healthy body and mind. But when we loses them, there is a suffering. The Buddha explained that people live in a sea, suffering because of ignorance and greed. They are ignorant of a law of a karma and are greedy for the wrong kind of pleasures. They do not think that we are harmful to their bodies and peaceful of mind, so they cannot be satisfied or enjoy the life. To end suffering, one must cut off greed and ignorance. This means changing one's views and living in a more natural and peaceful way. It is like blowing out a candle. The flame of suffering is put out for good. The Buddhists call the state in which all suffering is ended nirvana. Nirvana is an everlasting state of great joy and peace. The Buddha said, the extinct of desire is nirvana. This is ultimate goal, is Buddhism. Everyone can realize it with the help of the Buddha's teachings. It can be experienced in every life. When Buddha gave his first sermon in Sarnath, India, he began churning of a dharma wheel. He chose beautiful symbol of the wheel with its 8 spokes to represent the Noble Eightfold Path. The Buddha's teaching goes around and round like a great wheel that never stops, leading to central points of the wheel. The only point which is fixed, nirvana. The 8 spokes on the wheel represent the 8 parts of the Noble Eightfold Path. Just every spoke is needed For the wheel to keep turning, we need to follow each step of the path. 1. Right view, the right way to think about life is see the world through the eyes of the Buddha with wisdom and compassion. 2nd, right thought, we are what we think. Clear and kind thoughts build good and strong characters. 3rd, right speech, by speaking kind and helpful words, we are respected and trusted by everyone. Before we criticize others, we should first see what we do ourselves. And 5, right livelihood. This means choosing a job that does not hurt others. The Buddha said, do not earn your living by harming others. Do not seek happiness by making others unhappy. And 6 is the right effort. Life means doing our best at all times and having a good will toward others. This also means not wasting effort on things that harm ourselves and others. 7 is the right mindfulness. This means being aware of our thoughts, words and deeds. 8, right concentration. Focus on one thought or object at a time. By doing this, we can quiet and attain true peace of mind. All beings love life, love happiness. Taking yourself to happiness, you should neither harm or kill, nor cause to harm or kill another being, and do not fear about death. Death is only true and sure. Do not wait it, experience it. Heaven while you are alive. Feel the taste of nirvana by doing good karma in your life. Buddhism always teaches us love and compassion. It is a philosophy of life as an art of living. Buddhism emphasizes peace because it is a very much essential commodities for human being. Without peace, human cannot live happy life. Make your thoughts food and life healthy and bring the happiness into your life. Live a happy and healthy life. Thank you.